In this video, Idiot Atheist reads Christian literature. It's going to be Darwin's Empty Cradle, The Evolutionary Justification of Abortion by Steve Lawwell. You can get these Sword of the Lord, or, of course, Echoes of Eden.org. Echoesofeden.org. Stephen Carter. You can also find him on YouTube, of course. And the difference between him and atheist channels, and most Christian channels versus atheist channels, atheist channels allow you to do rebuttals. Of course, this guy doesn't. Here's a video he did, Evolution, the Dangerous Deception. Of course, I'm not doing videos because I'm just not smart enough to do these things. But basically, evolution is a deception, it's a lie, and he gives you all these things about it that's not true. Basically, as Aaron Ross says, dishonest. These people are dishonest. Now, you should actually check these out from Sword of the Lord, and you probably can get them also at echoesofeden.org. Entertaining, to say the least. But let's go ahead to the reading of this Darwin's Empty Cradle, the Evolutionary Justification of Abortion. Now, one thing that these Christians think is that if you're an atheist, you're for abortion. Because how can you not be for abortion? Well, I would be classified as an atheist. I don't like groups, put myself in little boxes, but I would probably be qualified as an atheist. Because I do not believe in the existence of any gods, and I don't believe in the supernatural either. But, I am not really for abortion. Sorry, I'm against it. Except for in the case of rape. Because there's no excuse that a man cannot use a condom. Now, I'm not going to tell a woman what she can do if she ends up pregnant. I do not have the right to do that. If she asks my opinion, then I can give her my opinion. Besides that, I really would have no right to tell her what she can and cannot do. Just like someone should not tell me what I can and cannot do with my body. It just isn't right. You may say, well, the baby's life matters too. Yeah, I do agree. That's why I don't really care for abortion. But let me ask you this question. How many Christian organizations do you know of that take care, that go out and allow women to know their alternative choices to abortions, and that they will put their child in loving foster homes? No cost to them. They can see their child when they want, all this stuff. Name one Christian organization that does that. But anyways, let's go ahead and start this little pamphlet. Darwin's Empty Cradle, Evolutionary Justification for Abortion. Let's go ahead and read this. I'm not going to read every bit of it, obviously, like always. One of the greatest travesties in American history occurred in 1973. Oh, boy. Yeah, even more appalling is the fact that nearly as many as slaughtered worldwide each year, approximately 115,000 a day. That's the greatest tragedy. Abortion was made legal in 1973. One of the greatest tragedies. Yeah. Think of worse things than that. Family friendly. In reality, the abortion movement is anything but family friendly. Planned Parenthood, the self-proclaimed defender of the well-being of individuals and families everywhere, is doing everything in its power to achieve its goal of only having planned pregnancies result in the birth of a child. On the surface, it sounds like a noble goal, since we would like to be prepared for major events that occur in our lives. Unfortunately, organizations like Planned Parenthood have extended their reach beyond that just of sex education and pregnancy prevention, and have sought to provide a solution to the problem of unplanned pregnancy post-conception. Through their numerous and federally funded clinics, abortion services are provided as a biological eraser. Okay. Are they going to be willing to pay the taxes to raise these unwanted children? Are they going to adopt these unwanted children? Are they going to be willing to pay the taxes to help these women raise these unwanted children? Guttmacher Research Institute in New York. Let's see. Of the women that received this surprising news, either from a doctor or from a home pregnancy test, 40% choose to end the life of their unborn child in an abortion clinic. This means that approximately 25% of all pregnancies, excluding miscarriages, end in abortion. The Guttmacher Research, the Guttmacher Institute of New York, the world's leading research group on sexual and reproductive health, published 2 very revealing studies on abortion and its motivating factors. Okay. I admit, he gives you the reasons. I mean, check it out yourself. You know, the Guttmacher. Sorry, I suck at this stuff. But, it's the Guttma. But let me do it slowly, okay? Sorry about this. I suck, like I say. Guttmacher Institute in New York. And reasons for abortion 1998, reasons for abortion 2004. Go ahead and look that up. It's interesting. No person has ever had a child can deny challenges that come along with being a parent. Our own parents often remind us that we will understand their decisions much better when we have children of our own. Although parents can recognize the challenges that are brought to light by the studies of the Guttmacher Institute, is the underlying theme of its research that is most disturbing. By logically grouping the reasons that women have an abortion, we find that between 87 and 91.8% of abortions in America occur when the child is considered to be a burden. Even more shocking is the fact that over two-thirds of these women claim to be Christian, having chosen the private sin of abortion to erase the public sin of out-of-wedlock pregnancy. He actually admits to that most of the abortions are by Christians. That should tell them something. Seriously. Maybe if you didn't look down on women that are pregnant and offer help to them. But this means is that people, including self-proclaimed Christians, have chosen murder over being inconvenienced. Abortion for profit. Some feel the problem is not really with the individual having the abortion, but with the abortion industry itself. It is believed that the industry has grown too lucrative to stop, and that its elaborate family-friendly marketing is luring naive young mothers to its clinics. No one can dispute the fact that abortion has become a very profitable business. Wow, $831 million alone through its services. In addition to this, Planned Parenthood receives at least $337 million in annual government grants and contracts. This makes abortion a billion-dollar industry each year just in the United States. Ironically, Planned Parenthood claims that it's striving to reduce the frequency of abortions, but the fact remains that their financial livelihood is built upon it. I'd like to see some evidence. Philosophical roots. In reality, the act of abortion can be conceptually boiled down to one simple idea, that the life of an unborn child has no intrinsic value. It is a notion that dismisses God's authority as a creator and refuses to recognize his rights he has endowed to each person. Now, this is what gets me about Christians. If you're an atheist, your life has no purpose and no meaning. Blah, 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 blah. Well, actually, when you're an atheist, you realize there's most likely nothing after you die. There's pretty much nothing after. It's gone. It's like before you were born. You're not going to exist. Your body will break down. All the atoms are in your body are going to be all throughout the universe. There's nothing left. Therefore, this life that you have right now is the only one. So you have to make it the best you can be. That means not getting pissed off over the stupidest little things. That means not acting like an idiot. That means not making life miserable for others, because they're going to do that in return to you. Simple things like that. But when you're a Christian, you can do whatever the hell you want, because just make sure you're saved, and you got to be saved before you die, and life doesn't matter. It's the next life that counts, because you're only here for a blink of an eye. Who really puts the least value on life? The theists, not just Christians, but Muslims and all the others. Without a doubt, no thought or idea has done more to devalue human life than, here we go, evolution. See, they can't defeat evolution. They know they can't. None of their creationist arguments, intelligent design arguments can defeat evolution or biology. Because evolutionary biology is built upon facts and research, and they cannot beat it. They lie about it, they can skew it, the results, however they want. So they have to attack it a different way. And of course, make it mean what it doesn't actually mean. Woven throughout its philosophical tapestry is the idea that man is just an evolutionary anomaly, the intelligent product of a mindless process. It's not actually what it says, just like it doesn't say it's an accident and all that crap, We are bombarded daily with the message that man is nothing more than an animal. Really, we are? And that just like the animals, we must compete for resources and status to get ahead in this world. The impact of such thinking is far-reaching and highly influential. Now, And the other one, what I just showed you here, evolution, the dangerous deception, he goes on, one of the lies he tells you is that, Hitler was an atheist. Now, if you read Mein Kampf, if you've actually read his book, Mein Kampf, Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, and any of his speeches, he's pretty clear that he's a Catholic, that he's a theist. He doesn't like evolution. Hitler did not like evolution. Not only that, he had on engraved most of his soldiers, uniform. God is with us. Of course, written in German. The swastika was a symbol that was on his dorm room when he was in the Catholic school. Oops. Journalist Steve Sobrand summarizes the issue in Human Life Review when he wrote, "Our civilization until recently agreed in imagining the unborn child on the pattern of the incarnation which maximizes his dignity, but many people now imagine him on the pattern of evolution as properly understood, which minimizes his dignity." Now, if someone you can do it. If any of you guys, or if Armor Skeptic, Logic, Aaron Raw, or anyone else can do it, do the video or Bible Reloaded. Hopefully one of you guys can get this evolution video and go through it and debunk everything. I can't do it because I'm too stupid to actually be able to do the video and the debunking at the same time. I have no clue how to do it. This is the best I can do is with a cell phone videotaping myself, because I'm an absolute idiot. Without a doubt, well, you read that? See how stupid I am? What not an unwanted child to be a necessary hindrance and burden to evolving human individual and society. If evolution is true, will we even have moral absolutes that guide us in our decision-making process? Yeah, let's go by the Bible, Let's beat our slaves. Let's have slaves and beat them. Let's subjugate women. Because both the New and Old Testament not only support slavery, but the New Testament says God's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So the same bloodthirsty God in the Old Testament is the same bloodthirsty God in the New Testament. Not to mention that Jesus brought up thought crimes. Let's not forget the fact that raping a woman, it's okay if you give her mommy and her daddy 50 shekels of silver, which is like, I believe it's like 10 years worth of pay, which basically means you're going to be working for the father for like 10 years. But because you damage his property. You damage his property. Or you give him 50 shekels of silver. So if I see a pretty girl out there who's a virgin, I just go do what I want to her, and she's my bride now. I just pay her father some money. Now, if I had a daughter and some bastard did that, what do you think is going to happen to him? If any of you guys had a daughter and some bastard did that to her, what are you going to do to that bastard? You going to let him marry your daughter? Unless you're a Christian. And I've heard on the news at least one Christian man was trying to get his daughter to marry her rapist. Actually, yes, you're going to look it up. Silly bastards. The bottom line is that if evolution is true, moral absolutes don't matter. There's no moral absolutes. Atheists don't believe in morals. Only Christians. See, that's the thing. Only Christians can be moral. Unless you're a Muslim, then you say only Muslims can be moral. It's amazing listening to these theists. You should go to church sometimes and listen to some of the stuff they say. Paving the way. Unfortunately, this murderous philosophy is not a recently developed idea that can be easily uprooted from our society. It is grounded in centuries of evolutionary thought and has been reported by some very influential members of the scientific community. One of the earliest authors to make an attempt at justifying the destruction of children was Thomas Malthus, 1766-1834. In 1798, Malthus wrote in his essay on the principles of population, in which he theorized that a food shortage was imminent in light of his belief that human population would soon outgrow the world's food supply. To remedy the solution, Malthus suggests that the poor should be allowed to live in unhealthy conditions, be denied certain types of medical treatment, and be discouraged to procreate. He proposed that children would need to be killed as a means of maintaining population at appropriate levels. He wrote, all children beyond what would be required to keep up the population at this level must necessarily perish unless room be made for them by the death of grown persons. Now, I have not read his essay on the principles of population, but I bet you that he's taking this out of contact. He's probably quoting what this guy's saying would happen during a food shortage, not the solution. I bet you that's what he's doing. I'm not going to actually look it up because, again, I'm stupid, but you can do that on your own. The economic history of the past 2 centuries has failed to provide any evidence to support Malthus' theory. It is now known that the world's food supply does not stay at a constant level. Really? Echoing the pseudoscience of Thomas Malthus and Charles Darwin, the evolutionist Barbara Burke has suggested that the murder of the unborn should not shock us, since it is only natural for humans to kill their young for the betterment of society. She wrote, among some animal species, infant killing appears to be a natural practice. Could it be natural for humans to, a trait inherited from our primitive ancestors? Charles Darwin noted in The Descent of Man that infanticide has been probably the most important of all checks in population growth throughout most of human history. W.H. Murdy, a professor at Emory University, similarly wrote that the unbridled self-indulgence on the part of one generation without regard to a future one is the modus operandi of biological evolution and may be regarded as rational behavior. Wow. Influenced greatly by the theories of Thomas Malthus and Charles Darwin, Herbert Spencer became convinced that ethics and morals had evolved along with man's physical characteristics and that they were driven by a competition for resources. Spencer, who coined the phrase survival of the fittest in 1864, believed that society could achieve a balance of peace, freedom, and harmony, but that this perfection only could be achieved through a weeding out process that would target either naturally or artificial individuals that were deemed a hindrance to society's utopian goals. Now, Charles Darwin never approved of social Darwinism, and actually he was against it. He was vocal too. You can look up these quotes. I don't know what this guy is talking about. And then, of course, we hear, then he goes, Haeckel's embryos. Everybody loves Haeckel's embryos. I'm not going to waste my time with it. What you should do is this. Type in Aaron Ra destroys Chick Track. The Bible Reloaded. He goes through all this stuff. He even then mentions the Haeckel's embryos. It's pretty good, better than I can ever do, because Aaron Ra is an intelligent man. I'm an idiot. And the Bible Reloaded is a lot funnier than I'll ever can be. Because, let's face it, they pretty much lie. You can't be completely, out of the shadows. The indoctrination of Malthus, Spencer, and Haeckel has indeed taken its toll on our society. It has permeated nearly every culture in the world and produced generations of intellectuals that had little regard for the life of the unborn. Their philosophical quotes appear on the front pages of the world's periodicals. Their morally bankrupt books have risen to the top of the bestsellers list, and the promises of a utopian society have taken them all the way to the White House. Really? Wow. For example, Parade magazine, the most widely read magazine in the United States, published an article entitled, Is It Possible to be Pro-Life and Pro-Choice? The authors, evolutionist Carl Sagan and his wife Anne Druin, contended that the abortion of a human fetus was ethically permissible on the grounds that it is not a human being until several months after conception. What was the basis for their assertion? Their belief that the unborn child is a kind of parasite that goes through stages of looking like a segmented worm, having the gill arches of a fish or an amphibian, a face that eventually becomes reptilian, then somewhat pig-like. Only after uniquely human qualities emerged did they feel that the fetus could be considered truly human. It is clear that while Carl Sagan was writing his own science fiction novels, he was also reading the science fiction of Ernest Haeckel. Strange, enough, this philosophy. See, he's going against Carl Sagan. And this is what is even funnier to me, and I mentioned in another video, the most annoying thing about creationists. He thinks he knows more about evolutionary biology, about science, than scientists. More about evolutionary biology than biologists. And what is his background? I mean, seriously, when you're a scientist, when you do research, I've done research. I've worked at a college and done research. I have a degree in molecular biology and biochemistry, and it really, really pisses me off when some jackass thinks they know more about my subject than I do, and then they want to ridicule a part of it as if they know what they're talking about. Then when I read their literature, and I read a lot of creationist literature, believe me, and they have nothing to say that's correct. It's all quote mining, misquotes, misdirection, outright lies. We'll watch Armored Draw. How could creationists not be dishonest? And of course he talks about child care, about Spock and his child care, A rat is a pig, as a dog is a boy. Evolution's equal placement of value on human and non-human life has, as James Rachels described, led some to a revised view of how we should treat animals. It is this specific philosophy that serves as a primary motivation for animal rights groups and organizations such as People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals and the Animal Liberation Front. Ingrid Newkirk, the leader of PETA, has left no doubt of this when she told the Washingtonian magazine that a rat is a pig, as a dog is a boy. They're all mammals. Wesley J. Smith, in his landmark book that derives its stuff from Newkirk's statement, reiterated this point by defining the animal rights movement as a belief system, an ideology, even a quasi-religion, which both implicitly and explicitly seeks to create a moral equivalence between the value of human lives and those of animals. It's like two sides of the same coin. The abortion and animal rights movement work together to place humans and animals on the same level. We are taught from early age in school and through various media outlets that man is nothing but an animal. I didn't even know that. This is the first time I heard that. Simultaneously, these outlets bombard us with anthropomorphic campaigns that seek to present animals with human-like emotions and desires. With each passing day, our society is being conditioned into thinking that we humans and animals truly are part of the same family. When a snake bites a person, it has no mechanism for classifying its action as right or wrong. A lion does not contemplate whether or not it has a right to hunt or eat a baby zebra. A shark feels no remorse when it mistakes a surfer for a seal. Similarly, a society that views its members as animals will become immoral and cease to see the destruction of any life, not just of its unborn, as murder. It is this fundamental truth that abortion and animal rights proponents must understand as they strive to push us toward a utopian society, one where there is no poverty, inconvenience, or cruelty. That's right. If you accept abortion, you will eventually accept murder. You will accept murder. It's impossible for any evolutionary-based movement to improve a society. Human civilization has demonstrated this many times in many ways, from the German Third Reich and the gas chambers at Auschwitz, which of course he was doing social Darwinism, not Darwinism, not evolutionary biology, because Hitler actually despised evolution. You know, white people are the superior race. You know, we are not related to these black folk and Jews and stuff, you know. To the Khmer Rouge and its killing fields in Cambodia, when a society becomes convinced that it can advance itself by considering its people as nothing more than animals, it will then condition those people into believing it's acceptable to act like animals. This just popped in my head. I'm sorry for laughing. Those of you who actually read the Old Testament, you know, God tells his people to kill non-Jews living in the land he wants to give to them. Okay? Because they're non-Jews. They're not God's chosen people. So it's their right to kill them, slaughter them, enslave them. It's not different than what this idiot's trying to say evolutionary biologists are doing. Or evolution, animal rights groups. It's the same nonsense. You know, first off, what he's saying is not true. But the Bible is saying, you know, that's how religion thinks. And then the New Testament is not any better on this stuff. You know, you avoid those that think differently than you. They're not as important to you. We're all sinners, but we're going to heaven because we believe right. We believe in this Jesus Christ. Everyone else is going to burn and suffer forever in hell, even if they had no way of knowing that Jesus was real or heard his name. But we Christians, we Baptists, or we Methodists, or Presbyterians, or we Catholics, we believe right. So we're going to heaven or purgatory. Everyone else is going to burn in hell because they don't think like us. They're going to burn in hell. But our religion is so moral. And you atheists, you're immoral. All these people, Pol Pot and Stalin, they're all evolutionists. Atheists. But we are good even though we had the Inquisition and we slaughtered people that lived in Israel at the time, you know. The true battle, as you may have already realized, such an unraveling of society's moral fabric has already begun in the United States with the legalization of the murder of the unborn in 1973, along with many other victories by evolutionary-based movements. Our nation began to collapse under the humanistic weight that was placed on its shoulder. It has? Can you give us some citation, please? Some proof, some evidence? Evolution is not just a dumb theory that we can afford to ignore. It is a philosophical acid that will destroy the moral fabric of any society that it touches. It is a philosophy that ignores moral accountability. It is a philosophy that eliminates any reason for condemning Adolf Hitler or plotting a good Samaritan. It is a philosophy that has been used to justify the deaths of millions of unborn babies. It has? Wow. Can you give us the citation, please? The battle lines have been drawn, but the battle is not just about being pro-life or pro-choice. Pro-choice is pro-death. The true battle is between creation and evolution, for it is at this fundamental level that the questions of life and death are answered. If evolution is true, which it is, then mankind has no value at any stage of life, which evolution does not say, born or unborn. Christianity says the same thing. Basically, your life is meaningless, only your next life has a meaning. And evolutionary, if you support evolutionary biology and you realize that your life, well, actually evolution has nothing to do with it. It's atheism. Because evolution, but there are Christians who support evolution. I don't see how you could do that, considering the fact that Jesus and Peter and Paul were pretty clear on the Old Testament creationism. But, hey, whatever. Like I said before, thank you liberals for supporting us more than you support your own God, if you want to call him a God. Thanks. Although spoken to the prophet Jeremiah, the words of the Lord can be applied to every person. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. Jeremiah 1:5. God does not view people and animals as equals, but expects us to live our lives in the knowledge that we are loved and valued above the rest of his creation. Conclusion, I'm not going to read. Well, God's people are growing colder, more indifferent, and less frequently outraged by the number of the defenseless. Where has our urgency gone? See, this is what I like about liberal Christians. They actually, many of them will support evolution, abortion. Now, I should do it. But let me see if I can find it in the Bible. I'm going to pause this video. Oh, I can't do that. That's right. Damn it. In the Bible, actually, I want to do the Bible. I'm going to do it in the next video. I'm going to do is going to be about God supports abortion, and I believe it's Deuteronomy. But it's going to be the next video. It's going to be in Idiot Reads Bible verses. You'll see God supports abortion. Thanks. For free to like, subscribe. For free to watch any of my other videos. And unlike what this guy believes, God in the Bible does support abortion. Sorry. And you'll see it in the next video. Thanks.